So I'm returning to repair on the Spaceball Pong Clone PCB. We're working on the last problem. Everything else has been resolved. The last problem is when the ball goes to the right, it scores 15 instantly. When the ball scores to the left, it does, or when the ball is over to the left and scores, it is correct. So let's just go through that one more time so you can see what happened there. Let's try that again. Alright, so going to the left, it scores 1. Scores 1 every time going to the left. So that's correct. Uh-oh. Oh. And there you go. Alright, so it scores to the right. So last time I worked on this, I had put a note on the schematic somewhere. I put an X reminding me where I need to focus on this. See if I can find it. Well, shoot. Go through every page. There it is. So that's the page I put an X on. And not enough room for this stuff. Okay. So I put an X here reminding me that this is the path that has the problem. For some reason, this clock signal, for some reason, the clock signal on this counter is happening multiple times when the ball goes to the right. So it's not the L. I've monitored it. It looks good. It's something to do with the missed signal. So if we track that down, all right, so on the same schematic here, missed. First of all, the game has to be active for a track to be high so that the signal will pass through. So only during gameplay will we have the problem. The inverter is working, and but we're getting multiple signals passing through when the miss signal is active. It should only be a single pulse, but we're getting multiple pulses. So it's one of two things. Is it the H blank? I kind of think not, because we have a solid and good looking picture, so I don't think it's horizontal blank. HVID is what I suspect. Now where is HVID coming from? Let's see. HVID. There it is. Okay, so there's the schematic for HVID. All right. So we've got two counters here going into a 4-input NAND gate to generate HVID. We also have a flip-flop here. So I'm going to start with the flip-flop, and let's see what those signals look like. So that's G6. Where's my scope probe? All right, so G6, 5 and 6. Okay. So G6 here, pin 5. Okay. Pin 6. Should be inverts of each other. That one's mostly high, that one's mostly low. That looks okay, and what I'm looking for right now is just anything weird. Okay, that looks pretty normal, so I'm gonna say it's not that for now. All right, so we've got two counters here. Let's look at those. This one's at G7, so let's look at the outputs at G7. There's 5 bits, there's a carry bit, but let's look at the main ones. All right, so that one's pin 11, which is that's the high bit, so it should go at the lower frequency. So that's what it looks like, and that looks pretty good. I don't see anything weird about that. Here's the next one. Let me change the time base. All right, let's try that again. So this is pin 10, pin 11. That's the third highest bit of that. Second highest bit, so you can see the frequency is getting higher. and the last bit. It's really going fast there. That might be a problem. Let's see if we stretch it out a little bit more. All right, let's try that. So, okay, now that does look a little weird. It's got some noise on it. Okay, so that's the high bit, so that's the lowest frequency. And that doesn't look too bad to me. I mean, it's got some weird noise on it, but I've seen worse. And that's got some noise on it. I've seen worse. I guess it's all right. Not obviously a problem. Yeah, I mean, it's just going to such high frequencies. That might be a little weak. All right, that's the carry bit. I mean, those look like logic levels to me. All right, so the next that we just checked that one. Let's look at this one. This one is H7. So let's look at those pins. That's the high bit. Oh, I can't see anything. Change time base. All right. Okay, time base. All right, so there's the high bit. That looks a little weird. See that top line? That looks strange. Well, okay, that one has some weirdness about it too. It's got yeah, that's definitely weird because that top line is, it's like changing logic without changing the voltage, without the logic level changing, is what I'm saying. What am I trying to say? Anyway, that high line looks weird to me. Let's look at the next one. Again, that top line looks like it's treating a low level as a low high voltage or something. And that looks pretty good. Now that signal looks good. What about the carry? That's the carry. And that carry looks really good. So it's these two pins that I'm wondering about because I don't like the way that's bouncing around. Also, shouldn't that be a full cyclic? In other words, not having a pause in the middle like that? I don't know. I guess that's right because that one's clean. All right, well, that's weird. So I'm going to try changing that chip and see what happens. I'll be back. All right, I've changed the chip out with a brand new 74161 4-bit counter. Let's look at these guys. All right, so this is the low bit. I'm sorry, this is the high bit. Okay. That looks pretty much the same as the first one. The high bit was good, as I recall, on the first chip, the one I just replaced. Okay, that's the third bit. Now that one had the weird. That one and the next one had weird bouncing around stuff. That looks a lot better. What about this one? Yeah, that looks better. I mean, it's still got a wiggle to it, but it's not like it's doing a logic change without doing it. I really can't explain what I didn't like about that. And that looks really good. That signal looks great. And then the carry. All right, well, let's see if it works. All right, we're still counting correctly that direction. All right. All right. Excellent. I think we got it. Guess I'll just let it finish so I can see if it recognizes the game over going that direction. Game over is 15. Audio sounds really good too. Okay. All right. I think it's fixed. I think we're done. That line, the center line is there. It's really faint. I don't know if that's a problem or if that's the way it's supposed to be, but the line is there. Wish it was brighter. Maybe with a black and white monitor, there'd be more contrast. I'm using a color monitor, so that may have a lot to do with why we can't see it well. But I think we're done with this board finally. Seems to be 100%. So I think that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I can't think of anything really else to talk about it. The last chip that I replaced was this one, and it was good. Oh, I still need to remove that jumper there for the sync that I added for getting the video sync. But as it turns out, most of these chips were bad. Now I replaced a number of them that were good too. I guess I should mention that. I don't remember which ones were good and bad, but that one was bad. That last one for sure. But most of them that I replaced did have some sort of problem. And so I ended up, let me count them. Count the number that I replaced. 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18 chips got replaced. And I would say maybe 5 or so, at least 5 or so did not have to be replaced. They were probably okay, but I was trying to track down the problem. Maybe as many as 10. But, you know, 8 or so at least were bad. So, anyway, the board is old. This was made in 1973. And some of the chip dates on these go back to 1971. That right there is ancient. That's like at the very beginning of being able to get these chips. So, anyway, neat. Got it running. And I'm going to have a new project soon. Thanks for watching. All right, so I decided to go back through all the chips that I replaced, the old chips, and put them back into the board where I could test and see if they were bad or not. And so several of them were good, and so I put those back in. And this is going to be the final tally. First of all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 chips were replaced. I think we already established that. Now, of those 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 were bad. So I replaced 6 chips that were good. And 12 that were bad. So that's actually not bad for a board this old. Now I did replace some because I was trying to find, trying to track down a problem, but just part of the process. Oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention. There is a speed on the ball that increases as gameplay progresses. At first it starts off slow, and then the ball hits around like 8 times or something, then it speeds up, and then you hit that another 8 or so, and then it speeds up the last time. There's 3 levels, there's 3 speed levels to the ball, and I've tested that, and that does work. So this board is 100%. Also the line is visible. When I put the old chips back in, that made the line a little bit better. So this one's done. I wish I had a machine to put it in, but I don't. I just got the board. Maybe somebody out there in YouTube land needs a working Pong board. This, I think, is not the same as the Winter, which I think Bally made. So, Winter 2 and Winter 4 is not the same as this one. This one is Spaceball. It's a clone, and the reason it's a clone is it's the exact same circuit. Even the chips are in the same order, but the edge connector is not guaranteed, and I think there are some slight differences. Now, you could wire around it pretty easy, but, if you wanted to put this in, say, a Williams or Allied paddle battle or something like that, it would just be a minor change. Anyway, I think that's it for this video. Took me a long time, but I finally got it. And the reason it took a long time is a lot of the problems were the chips worked, the outputs did something, and it was just logically wrong, or the signal was weak, or the signal was bad. And as you can see in the last example, the signal just looked weird, and I finally had to just replace it to get it to work. But it's always hard when the outputs toggle, because you have to assume initially that it's good. Usually TTL, the outputs are go, no go. Usually if a TTL chip is bad, it's going to be a bad output. But it's like the majority of these were bad logic, internal logic problems. Anyway, that's it. I'm rambling now. Thanks for watching.